It is another edition. And yes, we are live right here in the studio at WBOK on the campus of Xavier University. My name is Gerard Stevens. Glad to be with you. I know the phone number is going, everybody was looking for the phone number. Everybody looking to see what the phone number is. It's 504-582-9422 if you're looking for it, all right? A lot to talk about. I do have a lot to talk about, but I know that everybody wants to talk about what happened at the Orleans Parish Jail. And the majority of you already know, I mean, full disclosure, that I do work with Susan Hudson, who is the sheriff, on a lot of issues with jail and with her personally. So I could automatically tell you that I am not going to be that person to tell you everything that is going over there because I'm not authorized, number one. And then number two, if it makes any difference, I don't know everything. And the official investigation is going on. And being on the air and having a conversation with you probably today will be more so things that you already know. I'm not at any time trying to divulge information that you don't know. That's not my job. And I would not try to jeopardize that investigation. So I hope that you understand that. If you don't, nothing I can do about that. If you don't, there is nothing I can do about that. But I will tell you that there is more to come. If you got a chance today to see some of the city council question the sheriff and her team about, what's wrong with this jail? How did this happen? I got a lot of information I do want to talk about. Though there is a lot of stuff that we got to talk about. And I'm hoping that everybody understand that it is interesting to me to see the criticism that has come about. And I think a lot of folks even said, oh, she done this and she done that and she did this without knowing. It's a lot of armchair quarterbacks. Great. You are welcome to your opinion. But at the end of the day, what you will discover is that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed at that jail. A lot. So more than likely at some point in time, during the time that even when this investigation is going on, we will have the sheriff on this radio station. If I can, I will try to bring the whole team. I'm not certain that could happen, but I'm going to try. I am going to try. Now, there go my friend. What you say, Yellow? Where you been? Yellow? Where you
I'm
at?
here.
There you go. What you say?
How much time I got?
How much time you want?
Now, let me show you a real six ward, you know what.
All right, go ahead on.
First of all, let me get the niceties out the way.
No, let
Good
me
afternoon,
start
G,
your
my
night.
friend from Chapel Hill. How you doing, boy?
Man, let me start off my niceties too. It is so good to hear your voice. Everybody, it's been a couple of folks that called in on the radio station and said, "Where Yella?" I said, "I
Well,
don't
you
know."
know what? When you get old, sometimes you let young folks, do, and sometimes young folks don't do, and they need that dude with the suede shoes, the Toby Twos with the silk socks, the Levi's jeans, the shark skin belt, or the cowhide belt with the razor blade and the buckle,
Let
the
me go
silk
ahead on and stop
T-shirt,
you right there,
and
because
the rolling shirt and the bandana around his neck to say what he got to say.
you
Sometimes,
sound
you
really
need that boy
pimping.
on St. Philip and Galvez on the corner by the stop sign.
You are a real pimp. I just want to put that in there. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me start. This is the biggest charade I ever saw before in my life. Because a black woman didn't want that, who was the boss hog, wannabe boss hog, Landry, and the AG, the sheriff, the other stupid one in the Dukes of Hazzards, because she didn't want to do on the ICE situation. Okay? So this is called payback.
Hmm.
This is one black man's opinion. This is called payback. Because she stood up and said, no, I'm not going to do it. Now, coincidence takes a lot of planning. Say it again for the people in the back of the church. I know y'all went out last night to private suites, whispers, nexus, and a touch of class. So let me get a Bishop Martin on you in the back on a Sunday morning. This was planned because she said no. So if you say no to us, we're going to do a Donald Trump on you. A Donald Trump meaning we're going to do executive orders and make you do. It's like breaking a buck, like a wild horse or Kuta Kente making him say his name is Toby, and she said no. So all of a sudden, he does executive orders, and then there's a jailbreak. Oh, wow. I never saw nothing so clean before like that in my life.
Well,
somebody was on the take inside to make her look bad. Now, let me say this. Am I talking too much? You want to say something, G, while I'm talking?
I'm listening.
Feel
Go
free.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right, baby.
I'm just
I know
listening.
it's been a long time. Let me say this. She didn't want to do it, so we're going to make a fool out you and hold a prison break. Everybody in the inside, boom. Now, first of all, for all you black people, y'all getting played like a fiddle. Our media, 468, all of them ain't worth nothing. All y'all doing is worrying about that. Ain't nobody questioning about the executive orders in the ICE because she wouldn't do ICE. And here's what we got now. Would I vote for Hudson? I like her. If Gusman came in the race, I'll vote for Gusman. But she's not incompetent. It's just personal preference with me. That's all. She's the most qualified woman. She ain't no fool. Very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a Dutch, as in Morial. When she said what she had to say and didn't go to that charade, you did good, girl. Friday night, get dressed up. We're going to the bottom line. Okay?
Well,
so she said no.
Well,
all this was I'm going to show you what you want to do. And now, when I saw Canizero up there and his daughter, and now they're going to question my boy on his determination was good and bad. They want to do like Trump and have everybody put ski masks on and jump them and just put them in press. The same way they're bringing people down here to Gina or Jenna, on however you want to pronounce it. He wants that. No heavier corpus, no evidence, no nothing. Just going to lock you up and make money off because you got nothing else going on. No education. Department of Education gone, Medicaid, this gone, and everything. But getting back to Hudson, it's a shame. And the media, as usual, is not doing their job. They're worrying about the breakout. But like I always say, listen to me good, people. Game always recognize game. It's the before. Okay, first base was, she said she ain't going to do it. I mean, Kenner police chief did it, they did it, everybody else except her. They wanted her to sell out. Strong black woman. So we're going to teach you a lesson. Inside job, everything. And what gets me, G, old friend, good friend, I'm like that Thanksgiving cousin that always comes over on Thanksgiving and watch the Detroit line and Cowboy game with you. Well, it's Thanksgiving. So she didn't want to do it, so I'm going to make an example out of her. And they did. And the public is buying it and the media is not doing the job. And nobody's asking questions. I know you smart. They spent money on you and you went to Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to London Avenue.
That's all
I
right.
ain't got that much.
That's all right.
Not like you.
London Avenue was good.
But let me say this. It's a shame. And black folks, if they call you, please don't pick up the phone and say this, that, and other. All they doing is exploiting you. Now, let me give you a case example. The same way that white woman who lost her arm in the carjacking, I forgot her name. Well, the same way they did a sweep has been passing laws and making it like juveniles or something. That same kind of scenario, say it again for the people in the back of the church, that same type of scenario with the white woman with the arm they're going to do now. Because, these presidents, she don't know what she's doing. This black woman, oh, my God, she let 10 inmates get out. Oh. Okay, the 10 inmates get out. But I wouldn't be surprised if everybody was on the take with this because look how everything was. And remember, in the back pocket, everything is underpaid as in the office and underfunded. So it was set up from failure from the giddy up. And the media ain't doing their job. The same way with Trump getting elected, ain't doing their job. They're doing it now. They want to take over New Orleans. They want to take over the mayor's office. They want to take over the DA's office. Jay Son, watch yourself, boy, because they got Canizero watching everything you're doing. You better stay strong. Because he said the second leg, if you do something that he don't like, the AG going to do it. The AG now is Canizero and Orleans. He's watching you, Jay. I know Mama spent money on you, too. So show it.
There you go.
Don't let these boys play you.
All right.
Because that's what they're doing, trying to make it. Anything, I know.
It's going to be a whole lot more coming out today.
It is a whole lot more coming out. Because she didn't want to do what they wanted to do about immigrants.
Well,
it's all about immigrants.
I don't think that's the whole thing.
And she didn't want to do it, and now they're going to make her seem incompetent.
I don't think that's the whole thing, but yes, a lot. I will agree with you on some
of it. Is it some of it?
Politically.
Well, that's the main thing. Politically, it looks good. That's the same way Trump's doing. I mean, without habeas corpus, this, that, and the other. Did you know that 271 people got arrested by that facial profile by NOPD and the troopers? 271, but the Times Picayune you in the paper didn't say that. They did it on the facial profiling, which is illegal.
Yeah, there's more coming out. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right then let me shut up. But let me go. Look, let me get my to-go plate. I want the wings. I want the jambalaya, and I want the snap beans, and I want the Mackenzie lemon meringue pie.
Yes, indeed.
Can they wrap that up for me? Let me get two for my mom and daddy, baby.
And you get dessert?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I want that Mackenzie apple pie hot with some candy ice cream vanilla on top.
All right, my brother.
All I'm saying to the WBOK family, this is a scenario, this is a play, because one black woman wouldn't do what they wanted to do. Okay, it's on immigration.
I got you.
And they're bringing people to jail. Okay, let me shut up. I'll call you next Thanksgiving. But I miss you, yeah.
I miss you too, bro.
I miss you more than you miss me, but I still listen, baby.
I missed you too.
Much love for you, my friend from Chapel Hill.
There you go. Talk to you later, my brother. All right, Mr. Elmo. Mr. Elmo, what we did wrong? I did something wrong? Yeah, I did something wrong. What I did wrong? We can't go to line 2? Mr. Elmo.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Look, I'm glad I called Yellow and appreciate him because I listen to him. I don't know if he listens to me, but I listen to him a lot. Appreciate you, brother. Look, this is my take on the situation. And look, some things I disagree with Yellow what he said, but the thing that what catches me that I heard Susan Hudson say that she believed it was political to the point where on what happened. Now, if you look at the news today, they arrested a employee, a maintenance worker. Okay, and Gerald, please forgive me for saying this. For the life of me, why would a young man risk yourself going to jail
I have no idea.
to make? Listen, for the life of me, I don't see nobody risking themselves going to jail. You've never been in trouble. The young man never been in trouble, never been arrested. Why would you risk your life to help someone win an election? I mean, for life, I don't figure it out. I mean, I'm not that smart to figure it out, but I mean, it don't make no sense, you know. But this is the thing, Joel, what I don't understand. This general, you don't have to be a security expert or understand security to do certain things. You have a jail. Just say your camera's not working, but why they're not working? Okay, I understand that. Well, why you didn't have the officers making their rounds? They're supposed to make rounds. Don't you think they're supposed to make rounds?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think they're supposed to say who's in this cell, who's not? Now, this is something I don't understand. When I seen that, please forgive me, have some knowledge of being mechanical. I am mechanical. So the first thing I see is, when I see that thing, wait up, brother. That's a plumber involved, an engineer involved. That's not mechanical, because the way they took the sink off the wall, and then I'm saying to myself, that got to be an inside job. You know what I mean, brother?
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that I question, listen, when bids are out for buildings, like in other words, when you build a building for bids, you get bids on specifically for contractors, general contractors, that's going to build a building on the specifications in terms of what you want. Now, a jail, you don't build a jail like you build a building. So I'm trying to figure this out. I'm laughing, Gerard. It's not funny.
But what are you laughing at? What are your specifics?
I'm laughing, but it's not funny. How would a contractor, general contractor, build a building, specifications for a jail, and those guys will get out that easy?
He get off that easy?
Listen to what I'm saying. If you're building a jail, you're not building a business office. You're not a motel, hotel. You're building a jail. So I'm sure a contractor that's building a building, if I'm overseeing a building that could be built for the city of New Orleans, all these prayers, whatever the case to be, or the state or for the government, I want to make sure you're building the specifications that those walls are fortified. Roof, ceiling, everything, that no one can get out like that.
Okay. So
you have to excuse me. You have to excuse me. I had that knowledge, understanding. So I just, for the life of me, the contractors that built that building, they need to be questioned. What kind of kickbacks was involved with them?
Trust me, that's happening.
Huh?
That's happening.
I mean, does it make sense what I'm saying?
But that's all I can answer you with, because all I can tell you is that's happening. You are correct. That is happening. I don't know what the question answering part of it is. There's so many different entities from federal, state, and local that are involved in the investigation that is going on. It ain't just about us catching the guys and let's start all over again. There are some things that have happened with this building, and a lot of folks have told me different stuff, and I've heard different issues and stuff like that. I can't believe nothing until it come out. I didn't even know about the employee until it made the news about, he was arrested. This wasn't arrested by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office or NOPD. This arrest happened through the Attorney General, that they questioned this employee, and he said, and it's in the newspaper, so don't make me the quoter, but it's in the newspaper that he said he had to do it because they threatened him to cut off the water to the piping and all this other stuff. Man, I'm looking at some of the cuts and all them boats and all this other stuff, and I was like, how'd they get that off? Had to have some tools.
Well, not only that, Gerard, the specification for equipment like that has special type of nuts and bolts that you're not just going to have any tool to do that.
And saws and everything else, yeah.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. You know, and look, Gerard, I'm not saying I know more than you.
No,
But I,
I'm not saying
but I know the
more
work.
than
Look, listen, Gerard, I'm not saying I'm smarter than you, but I know the work that I do, man. I'm a
I know
plant
what you
engineer.
do.
I'm a mechanic by trade.
And trust me, I don't do none of that by trade.
But I understand what I'm talking about because I know what I do.
Yes, sir. And I'm with you on that. So,
You know,
all
but
that'll
another
come
thing,
out
but
at
see,
the end.
again, I do agree with Susan said that it is a very, very personal effort to get her out of there because the same thing about Guzman. They didn't want Guzman when he replaced Bowden, if you can remember.
Yeah. Well,
But, I mean, that's politics at its best. I mean, we knew New Orleans. I mean, you know there's going to be politics involved.
all I can tell you is that we have been through not just as this is surprising everybody. I'm glad nobody's been hurt, and hopefully, let me knock on wood, hopefully nobody will. But what I will also say is that this city did not treat anybody in charge the same way that they're treating her when we had the terrorist attack. You understand? And 14 people got killed. But we didn't treat the officials that were in charge and what they didn't do the same way that they're treating her. And nobody asked for no resignation or any of that other stuff that happened at that time. So,
well, the sad thing about it, Gerard, right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, this is the sad thing about this, man. We got to be straight. You saying it straight up.
mm-hmm.
The bottom line is you have our own people. Instead of trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, they're adding fuel to that fire.
Yeah, everybody's armchair quarterback.
Yeah, everybody owns it. I mean, most of them don't even know how that system works, you know?
You just got to expect it. It comes with the territory. So,
all right, brother. Nice talking to you.
All right, same here, Mr. I want to talk to you later.
Thank you, brother.
All right, we got more coming up. Everybody hold tight. Phone's off the hook here. More coming up next.
I'm David Patan Sr., owner of Whole Water and Food Over Medicine Academy, coach, consultant, and instructor. We're excited about our 21-day challenge. Stop, prevent, and reverse disease today. Cholesterol, diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, along with chronic illnesses and diseases. We believe that the gift of wellness is the greatest gift, and for $30 per month, $1 a day, you could have this gift for you and your family.
I'm Phyllis Washington, and I've benefited with health and weight loss.
For your gift of $30, healing and wellness can be yours. Call 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. The Whole Water Store. See you at 2135 Washington Avenue today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Are you now, or ever wanted to, be in the biz? The NAACP Hollywood Bureau is proud to present Be in the Biz, a one-day symposium designed to share valuable information and access to some of the entertainment industry's top power brokers, writers, directors, producers, and storytellers from all forms of media. We'll learn about pitching techniques, adapting scripts to screen, collaboration between creatives and other media executives, and all the behind-the-scene roles for creative professionals. Be in the Biz is coming to New Orleans on Saturday, May 31st at Studio B. For more information and to register, visit @Hollywood Bureau on Instagram.
Just a kid who grew up in New Orleans East. First attended public schools, then to St. Augustine High School. After college, Arthur Hunter became a police officer. And while community policing the housing projects, Arthur Hunter worked his way through Loyola Law School at night and became a respected judge who lectured at Harvard, Yale, and Columbia Law Schools. Now, Arthur Hunter is asking to be your next mayor. Because the best way to get better police officers is from a mayor who's been a police officer. To bring life back to our playgrounds and neighborhoods is a mayor who played on them as a kid. And to have a government that's accountable is a mayor who's been a criminal court judge. Arthur Hunter. He's been called the best candidate for mayor you may not know yet, but you will. Arthur Hunter, mayor. Paid for by Arthur Hunter for New Orleans.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. All right, let's go back to the phones. Kevin. Kevin? What's going on with the phones? I can't answer the phones. Hit line 3 from it. Kevin, there you go.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Got you now.
As always, man, thank y'all for at least having this conversation, because that's where everything starts, with conversation. But look, we like to talk about culture. Look, a culture is a total thing. It's not just shaking your butts, okay? It's about how we interact with each other, and that's good and bad, okay? So the bottom line is this. This is about all of us. It's not about no individual. It's about all of us as individuals. We have a responsibility. Look, we have a common history. So we should either you learn from your history or you're doomed to repeat it. The insane asylum is run by the insane as it relates to black people. We were brought here as chattel goods. Essentially, relatively speaking to the times, we are still chattel goods. We don't get the same standard of acceptance as human beings as the dominant population, okay? And until we start realizing we have a common interest and a common circumstances and quit being contemptuous toward each other and realize that all we got is us, okay? So we need to quit talking about who went to Harvard, black excellence, and start respecting the fact that we have mother wit, we have common sense. This is really not a complex thing to solve. Treat people the way you want to be treated. If you don't know what that looks like, look at how other people are treating each other that are successful. If you want something, look to the people who have it and mirror what they're doing. Those people want rich people, because really this is really about rich and poor. It's really not only about the strategies that they use of racism, sexism, classism, because that's really a subcategory of what they're really trying to do. And they're trying to have the 1% control the 99%. And the bottom line is this. If we don't start realizing we're all in the 99% in the same circumstance as it relates to what they're trying to do, because they're getting ready to take Social Security, they're getting ready to take democracy, they're getting ready to violate American ideals, and that affects all of us, the 99%. The 1% going to be just fine. They can just move to another country, which they probably already set up in other countries, just like on a micro level, we all have second holes to come out of. Okay, we all have two incomes. We understand you have need more than one income. You need more than one resource, because if that resource gets cut off, you need to have another one. Rich folks have all that down. That's their mad money. They have other countries to go to. They're making connections. So the bottom line is, black folks better realize, if we don't remember our history and start realizing culture is how we interact with each other. Look, like I said, the insane asylum is run by the insane. If you don't believe me, look at the news. All these people are supposed to be the cream of the crop, coming from the top of all the standards of what you're supposed to be excellent, and look at how the world looks. It's insane. I don't know if you noticed. We're murdering each other, and these are the white people. Just look at what the white people are doing to each other, because most of these wars and all that stuff in Ukraine, in the Middle East, when these people come here, they are essentially white. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if they do that to each other, and they're doing it by the tens of thousands, by the millions. So if you don't want something to happen to you, do something about it. until we get together and realize we have to work together and we have to do the work. And no one takes care of us like us. Look, black folks are just as deplorable as white folks.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
all right, Kevin.
Look at the results. If it looks like a duck and acts like a duck, it's a duck. If nothing's getting done, it's probably because the people who we got in charge either don't know how to do it, or we not taking responsibility to be accountable to show them how they do it. Like I said, don't talk to them about it. Show them we need to get together and group things and come up with plans. So then if they don't implement these plans, they need to come up with better plans that's going to get the results that we're looking for.
Got it.
That's on us to do that.
All right, Kev. Thank you, brother.
You.
Appreciate it. All right, let's go to Shadrick. There you go.
Hey, man, how you doing? Look, I went to the meeting today, and I just want to say from RS 15:702, maintenance of a parish jail, the governing authority of each parish shall be responsible for the physical maintenance of all parish jails and prisons.
Yes, that's your revised statute, yes.
So pretty much, Orleans, the city council, the city of New Orleans, is responsible for the maintenance of the facilities of that jail.
Mm-hmm.
The concern that I have is if you want whoever the sheriff may be to continue to house violent offenders, then that jail has to be up to snuff. And the sheriff pretty much hit that today, and she did a wonderful job. If you want us to be a maximum security facility, we need funding now. Gerard, before you go to the next person, there's some things that needs to be said. Chief Kirkpatrick, I want to tell her thank you. She said, I'm not here for the politics. I'm here to do a job. So as she finished giving her presentation and she was leaving the rostrum, the sheriff was walking in, and news media didn't see this, but I did, where I was sitting. And the Chief Kirkpatrick looked at Sheriff Hudson and said, good luck. And you can tell by the look on her face that this was a woman-to-woman moment.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it was genuine. So to the police chief, thank you for being a humanitarian. Thank you for not doing like the other people doing. People running for office, coming up with tasteless videos endorsing their campaign. More self-aggrandizement when you need to get these criminals back in jail, then you can point the finger. J.P. Morrell, lastly, but most importantly, you evidently, sir, president of the city council, you have a problem with black women in power. I can tell you this, if I was the sheriff and you would have talked to me like that, they would have been stopping that darn meeting. You are a little too forceful, and it is very, in my opinion, as a 52-year-old black man, it's very disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
So the chairman of that committee, Councilman Thomas, to me, you should have stopped him and to ask him to be a little bit more, not cordial, but to be more professional. Because at the beginning of the meeting, Councilman Thomas did say, we're going to listen, we're not going to be disrespectful. This is a big mess. And honestly, from my gut feeling, if they do a thorough investigation, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back to a political person. I just wouldn't, Gerard. Am I taking up for the sheriff? No, I'm not. But you can disagree without being disrespectful. And lastly, the only candidate running for office that came out with a sensible statement, which included protection for the judges, prosecutors, and victims, was Arthur Hunter running for mayor.
Interesting.
And because of that statement right now, he has my vote.
Interesting. All right.
This ain't the time, again, man, for to add fuel to the fire. This is the time to get these violent people back in jail so If prosecutors left, because I'm told that the district attorney said people are gone, his staff people are out of town. If that's the case, get these people off the streets. Then you can throw stones, because we all know, or those who are in the political know, that Ms. Woodfork, who worked for the district attorney's office, is your candidate. So let's put everything out there. And people of New Orleans, it is imperative for you to start voting, because only we can change this foolery that's happening.
Yep, I agree.
Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, Cedric. All right, let me go. Ty, let me see. Can I get her? How come I can't answer two of these lines? Come on. Let's go to Ty. Ty, there you go.
Hey, G.
What's going on with you?
This is, as a black woman, I truly feel for Susan Hudson. I love her poise, about through it all, because I know that she knows what she's going to be dealing with and what she's, what she's going to go through and has already gone through as sheriff. When you look at the dynamics and the way that everything kind of played out with this, it's so, to me, in my opinion, it's obvious that, yes, like you said, I just found out as well that there was an inside person, which I assumed, but I didn't know that it was actually official.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that there's, again, like the previous caller just said, that there's something political behind it. There's no way that it's not. Everybody, we have many Trumps in the governor's mansion, right? So everything, and as I called and said before, was, how goes Trump, goes Louisiana. So what we're dealing with is somebody that is out for retribution. He's out for retaliation. Ever since the vote went no, when everybody voted and we said, we were against his agenda, he's been on the rampage. Would he have not been on the rampage had he won? I doubt it, because that's just who he is. But at the end of the day, as a black woman, I applaud Susan Hudson, because I know that she's about to deal with a whole lot and already is dealing with a whole lot. It's like you said, you don't know everything that's going on just yet, but it's all going to come to the light.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at someone like Michelle Woodfork, because she's up for, she's running as well for sheriff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I look at that, the whole thing is this whole DEI thing, which is so misunderstood by so many of these ignorant male folks. It's hilarious to me, because at the end of the day, we're always going to have black people, and a lot of times it's black men, that are bought and paid for. And I think that that's what we're dealing with now. I believe that one of the culprits of the situation at the jail was probably somebody that's running for sheriff. That's just my opinion with that, because I find it very weird that some of these people, where they were found. I live in the East. One of them was in an abandoned house. Didn't we see one of them yesterday sleeping on a bench, a park bench or something? Like, if they really had the gall to want to get out and go, like, really be free or whatever, you're right here. Y'all walking in the French Quarter, you're sleeping on park benches. It's just a weird, you're on social media saying that you're out. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, for people that really wanted to break out and just like, okay, I want to be free and I want to go and I want to live. This is not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. They're essentially being places where they can literally be caught. It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying, I'm not of the belief that any of them are stupid, ignorant, whatever, because I don't know the men. But I just find it rather interesting that all of them seem to be in places where they can easily be caught. So you just want to be free for a day, 2 days, and then just go back in and face whatever punishment is going to be coming to you? It doesn't make sense. So now let me say this too. The press conference with the social media is eating it up with Mento and Brown, I think was her last name. I don't know what that was about. That was kind of weird to me.
It was the glasses that they picking with her designer glasses.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why that was a choice. I mean, I disagree with them, picking on her or whatever. But I'm like, why put more of a spotlight on yourself? And then the other young lady where she was bucking her eyes, and it was just the weirdest thing. But as far as Susan Hudson goes,
let me say this to you. Let me say this because you're basically making comments about the press conference that was on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. I was actually standing in the background because I'm not the guy to be standing in the forefront anyway. But I was standing in the background, and I was totally, and if I sound biased, I don't need anybody to call me and say, well, you sound biased because you work with her. Absolutely. But I don't care who it was. That press conference was out of control, and it started out of control with the reporters that were inside of the conference room. I had never in my life been to a press conference where the reporters, at least two of them, I will say the young man from Fox 8 and, of course, Travers Mackle from Channel 6, just absolutely disregarded the fact that they had other reporters in there, took all the questions, screaming at the sheriff and raising their voices like they ran something in there. Like, I was like, remove them, please remove them. But that wasn't heard. That wasn't my press conference, so I had to know my place, okay? Right. But if I was that person that was in charge of that press conference, I would have removed them and wouldn't have cared about the ramifications that came in next. You're not going to come into our house and act a fool. Mm-hmm. And the disrespect that came out of that was one piece. Bianca is the one with the eyes that you're talking about. Bianca is the CFO, very smart young lady that was tired of the foolishness during that time. And her eyes bucked up because they asked her a question like they questioned, did she know what she was doing? And if you notice, she ran down every number. She knew it by heart. Rolled down all those numbers, and didn't nobody ask her no more questions neither, did they? That was the end of the questions because she was fed up and frustrated. And I got to tell you that, at that point in time, they were ready to just drop the whole press conference altogether. Because to me, that wasn't a press conference. That was an S show. You know what the S stand for. Right. And it was made to look that way. Chaos. Okay. So they didn't get so they acted a fool. That's all.
And I could understand that, and I can see it because that's just, lends to the fact that the media skews things the way that they want. I can only see one end. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. However, I do know when she did answer the question, and that's what I appreciated from, you said Bianca Brown? That's what I appreciated from her, was that she did skew the facts. And it was just like, okay, this is what you asked me, so this is what I'm giving you. But it's sad that we as Black women, we have to go above and beyond to prove that we are fit to do a job that we've clearly shown that we're fit to do. But it's like vultures. The minute something goes wrong and there's a Black person in control, especially a Black woman, here comes the vultures. Because I need to denigrate you. I need to make you feel like you are less than, that you are a DEI hire based on their dumb definition, which they don't even understand. It's just so frustrating, especially in this day and time. Because you also look at the Congresswoman out there, that they're trying to put charges on her. It's just the craziest thing. Mm-hmm. But to all Black women out there, stand tall, stand your ground, and always be who you are and stand in your professionalism. Yeah. And that's what I respect from Susan Hurst.
Yeah. Coolin'. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you much.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You got to take a break? Yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Everybody else, hold on. Treese, I'm coming back. Hold on just a minute. More coming up, y'all, right here on WBOK.
I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Connect with NOLA Public Schools. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X for the latest updates. Sign up for District Digest, our official newsletter where we share district achievements, celebrate student successes, and keep you informed about our vision of providing a high-quality education. And don't miss our school board meetings. Watch in person or live stream on YouTube. Stay informed. Stay engaged. Visit NOLAPublicSchools.com today. Again, that's NOLAPublicSchools.com.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Join me, Dr. Jaquil Ross of New Schools for New Orleans for Talk That, NOLA Education. This Monday, we'll be joined by Max Day from NSNO to discuss the current legislation session bills impacting education. Be sure to tune in Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Trees. What you say?
Hey, how you doing this
Good.
afternoon?
I'm trying. That's about it.
I know, but you know what? I am just really angry with all of our elected officials in New Orleans and our state reps and all of that, even our U.S. Congress. And let me tell you why. Okay, we know that this governor wants to take over the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, like, for instance, the thing that's going on with the sheriff, okay, we have all this politics going on, and we know that it's political, and I feel like it was a hit, but here's the thing. If you guys try and keep thinking each other, because even when they said Jason sent the shot back out at the governor, I'm like, finally, somebody about to tell this man something. But when I heard all it was for him to try and sink her down the ship, I'm like, do you think this man care if it's her or you who he come for and take over? So even if somebody did this hit and we not trying to figure out, you know what, Governor, we got this. That's what all of them should unite and be telling him, not pointing fingers. It should be like New Orleans has been through a lot, and we know how to come through everything. We got this. It should be a united front where all of our elected officials are saying, keep your hands off of Susan's job. Because whether it's Wilford, Guzman, whoever running for us, if they take over you running for a job, that ain't that no more. Even with the mayor situation, if you weaken, how city council wants to weaken the mayor's position, okay, so we're not gonna have that no more. Or even how with the trash situation, how we had one of our state reps trying to help the French Quarter businesses be able to approve their own trash stuff. Okay, so you want to give that to them and think they're not coming for something next? And I think that's where we just losing the point. At all costs, we should be trying to protect New Orleans right now, because New Orleans it ain't just Sheriff Susan neck on the line. This is New Orleans, because if he take over the jail, he's coming for this. He coming for the district attorney next. Then he coming for sewage and water board. Then he coming for all of it. Mm-hmm. So if you think you could just throw her and let him come take her, and you think your job is safe next, you're wrong, because he don't care if he take JP. He don't care if he take Moran. He don't care about none of y'all positions. And all y'all can go line up in that office with him and think you creating deals with him, but he don't care about you and your deals. He wants this diamond. And I'm so angry at the fact when I heard Jason just threw her back under the bus, I'm like, no, you were supposed to say, New Orleans, we go through everything, and we know how to because we deal with so much, we know how to take care of everything we got to take care of. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get to the bottom of what the problem is, but we don't need your intrusion, sir. You know, like JP, he was on there this morning happy. Well, when the governor come out with his audit, so you think he going to stop there, JP?
No.
It's just ridiculous that they can't get from around their own egos and protect the city for the citizens.
Let me tell you what I heard.
It's
this
infuriating.
weekend, let me tell you what I heard this weekend, which was very interesting to me. And look, I am sitting here on a tightrope because I want to make sure that I don't say anything that could compromise any investigation that is going on. But one of the things that was said this weekend by the governor at his press conference, was interesting to me, that he not only answered one of the reporters' questions because the reporter said, "Well, where's the sheriff at his press conference?" And he said, "I don't know. Hopefully, she's guarding the jail." I want to be the first one to say that the sheriff was not at the press conference because everybody that was at that press conference was invited. She was not. Now, you're having a press conference.
Man literally stepped into his office having committees without New Orleans people there.
And you
right?
didn't invite her. You didn't invite her. This ain't the first time that he's done that. When they had the issue with what happened on Bourbon Street, they didn't invite the sheriff's office to come, but we were there. We were there. And one of our detectives, Detective Morgan, we had 4 or 5 detectives that were on Bourbon Street that were helping out, trying to get people out of the street. That was there. Detective Morgan, if you look at the footage, the video footage of when the guy wrecked his truck with that crane, that was our detective that went to help out NOPD. Guess what? They weren't even included in the Super Bowl presentation of first responders that were there on the scene. How disrespectful could that be? Now, the disrespect is something I know that Susan is not worried about. She's trying to do the job. But do I think that this is just about her as a person? No. I think this is about, and I said it earlier with that millage, make sure that we vote for it because it sounds like to me that somebody trying to take over the jail. Here we are.
And here's to piggyback off the lady that was speaking before me about what did all those black pastors do when the people was acting like they were coming for the superintendent, the police superintendent? They volunteered to do a press conference because don't come for her. Like, let's protect Miss Pepper Patty, white lady. And I say this, I ain't the biggest fan of the mayor, but my thing is what the lady said. When it comes to black women, they don't step up and protect.
Mm-mm.
And you ain't got to say she ain't did nothing wrong. You ain't got to agree, but you got to say, no, you're not going to come at her like this.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get that.
Well,
and it's
the
foolish.
The last part of what I had
because
to
we
tell
won't have a city if they keep on with this foolishness. This man about to take over everything, all of y'all jobs. Ain't none of y'all gonna be nothing but something on paper.
And the last
and then
part
you're
of that,
gonna be coming
Treese,
to the community
and
begging us. Then
Treese,
go
the
ahead.
last
I'm
part
sorry.
of that, I would tell you that I've known Jason for years, and I got to tell you what I heard in that press conference, buddy. As much as you are doing your political thing, I'm not in that part, but I would tell you, he coming for you too. That's what I heard.
That's my point. So why, when you went at him, your reaction to him was to throw the sister under the bus instead of saying, "Listen, we got this. New Orleans, we know how to. We've been through Katrina. We've been through this. We got this.
Mm-hmm.
We can handle a few people breaking out of prison. We don't need you down here doing anything for us." That should have been what was said.
Because what I heard him say is that he's going after two other parts. He's going after the DA's office. And I know that Jason and Canizero are not the best of friends. I know his daughter was standing there. And the other part of it is we've already seen what Jackson, Mississippi has done to their judges.
It's not like it's not like we don't have the pedigree of what they could be trying to do. And instead of y'all uniting, instead of y'all saying, listen, I know we got this campaign season coming up, but let's make this the most united campaign, because if we don't fight for our city, none of us is going to have a job to sit on. None of us going to have a council, the mayor, the DAs, the sheriff. We're not going to have it. The Sewage and Water Board, the Lord. We ain't going to have it if they keep on going the way they're going instead of, and they're smart enough to see it, but they think think they're smarter than us, I guess.
No.
So you're going to play politics with this governor until he sell you out. Then you're going to want to come run tail close to us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's it. I'm just infuriated with it.
Well, I know that it's going to happen, so it's part of the game. We'll see. But thank you, dear. I got to get in my news, okay? I appreciate you. All right, I'm Treese. All right, we got to take a break, y'all. We got all the lines lit up. Numbers 504-582-9422. We're going to take a break here. We're going to do the news and come back and have some more of your topic of conversations next, right here on WBOK.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Rutgers University has named LSU President William Tate, who is black, as its 22nd president.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be in this position.
He'll take over July 1st, succeeding Jonathan Holloway. Tate will lead over 69,000 students and a $5 billion budget during a time of deep spending cuts and pressure to scale back DEI programs. Court is adjourned in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Testimony came from Cassie's mother, a federal agent, and a male exotic dancer. Earlier, Diddy's assistant said Cassie felt trapped due to his control over her career. Rapper Kid Cudi is expected to testify this week. And Louisiana lawmakers passed a bill banning diversity programs in state agencies and public colleges, a key part of Governor Jeff Landry's agenda. 10 black lawmakers opposed it, with Rep. Candace Newell calling it the most racially oppressive bill she's seen. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back. The number 504-582-9422. These phones are hot today, y'all. Hot today. James, thanks for holding on.
What's happening? Long time no hear from you, but how you doing?
I'm sorry. I've been missing in action a couple of days.
Me too, bro. It's new time change on here. Around this time, I'll be wrapping it up. But I just want to go ahead on and put y'all on notice. I don't know if anybody said it earlier, but I'm jumping in here to say it now. These people believe in tough on crime. And when Susan walking around calling these boys residents, they don't like that. They do not like that. Mm-hmm. So they gonna push because they feel like they got to be the big bad wolf and take it back to the old days where they abuse, the community in that place. I ain't gonna call them residents because I don't agree with that either. But I'm certainly for her humanitarian approach when dealing with these people. But you still got to know who and what you're dealing with. So, but I'm not a sheriff, so I'm not going to scrutinize or criticize her death. I do believe this woman, from the time she got in the office, did not get a peaceful transfer of power from Gusman. The jail was built under his watch. Mm-hmm. It was passed on to her with limited knowledge and information about the system. Mm-hmm. All the people during Katrina are gone now, and before Katrina are gone now. So you got essentially on-the-job training happening. And I also believe that he had some personnel that loved him back there to this day. And they helped orchestrate most of this. That's why they're back there beefing and fighting amongst themselves and locking down and clamping down on the prisoners, treating everybody brutally. Got us out of our character, and they're on to their mission with disinformation. I think Oliver said the 3 Ds, distract, disinform, and deny. So, we're like Kev said, and all the other callers before me said, we got to stick together and be vigilant. We got to start doing our homework, because I'd be damned if I vote for Gusman, because I'm not going to play that game with you. But I remember seeing you having your video where the dude checked himself out of jail and checked himself back in. Black tar heroin was running through your jail, man. Yeah, so you're not qualified either. All you telling us is you're going to go play ball with them folks. Yeah, we see you. We see you.
I wish somebody would. I wish she would have told everybody about the computer system.
He was the first one to talk after the thing on the radio. Went straight to WWL. Mm-hmm. He a coward. I'm ashamed of him. I'm ashamed of it.
That computer system that everybody keeps talking about, that they want her to jump on and tell. She told him it is outdated. I don't know if you heard it today. She said it's 1986, and she came here and she explained. She said, "I need you to see this when you come back over." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She said that system is still got the big green screen with the prompt that is blinking
with the little blinking cursor,
like the Atari system.
Yeah, crazy.
And she ain't lying. She not lying.
But dig this. She also said that there was things in the prison that concerned her, blind spots, stuff that people could hurt themselves with.
Yep.
So you could talk about how the rebar and this, that, and it was triple diamond rebar and whatever. But we know that there was some things that people could use against themselves and the guards.
Now, if you go back to Channel 4, I think this was probably 2 years ago.
Oh, and I got one more thing, Gerard. See that Fletcher Maggle dude? I tell my wife every night, I can't stand that clown.
Who's
His
that?
name is brother.
Who?
Fletcher Maggle, a clown, a full-on clown. With them funny color, stupid looking outfits he be wearing. He a clown. He dressed like a clown. He talked like a clown. He looked like a clown. He's somebody's baby boy clown.
Oh, yes, indeed. Let me go back to this now, because you got that off your chest.
And JP too.
You got that off your chest. I'm right.
Yeah, I did, bro. I did.
One of the things I will say, damn, you done made me lose my whole train of thought with that one, Billy Clan.
I'm sorry, bro. Oliver, bro, you slip storing. Oliver, you slip storing, bro.
Well, I'm telling you, boy, I'm starting to get too old now. That's starting to really come in now. The amnesia. I'm thinking though, there was so much other stuff that didn't come out, that has not been put out, and I'm not going to put it out until I'm cleared to do so. But listening is going to be my biggest point instead of saying what I think, because what I think, I'm just looking at how this city reacted compared to how the city officials reacted in January. I'm looking at how these folks are ready to cut. I was thinking about the Channel 4 issue. That's what I was talking about. I can remember 2 years ago that the sheriff walked through with one of the reporters over at Channel 4 and said, I want to show you the discrepancies in this building. And somebody said today at the city council, it's much more of a new building, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, wait a minute. That building was put online in 2015.
Under Gusman.
It's 2025. So that makes that 10 years old. How many times in a day does those locks on those doors open up? At least 3, because you got to feed them 3 times a day. They getting 3 meals a day. That's not including bed checks. So you're talking about 4 times a day. I don't even know what else needs to be talked about as far as the doors are open and how they slide and those
shower
locks
time, yard time,
all of that. And you're trying to tell me within 10 years, she has told you all that these locks need to be replaced.
Man, the locks deficient nationwide. The locks that whoever got that contract, they're sold them the jails a bill of goods and they don't work. They need to go get their money back, and they need to hold them liable for some of these problems that they have in nationwide. All these contractors, that case in point. So we might be talking about some faulty material with the hard rock, but I'm hearing it might have been compromised by somebody, child who now I think I can run that doggone crane. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing probably happened in building this jail. Man, we could do that. And we could do it for far less. How much you gonna charge?
Well, I'm just amazed.
$777 million. They only want to charge. They wanted to charge you $900 million.
I'm just amazed that even the statistics that she had, that she put those out the week before, saying, "Hey, look, here's the numbers that we're getting from proposals that we've given to the city council, and those proposals for those locks and for that repair." And the bidding of doing the work was $4 or $5 million, and nobody seemed to remember that. She said, "We can put it back on the table if you want us to, but we gave you the information."
That was your little partner that tried to go at her with that one.
Mr. Red Bottoms.
Yeah.
I think he. I actually
call that
went
boy
to
blue eyes and curly head. You hated him back in the day.
I actually had to sit down and make sure that all of my legalities, everybody there needed to get a lawyer for me. I'm just one of those that believes in it. And of course,
I'm just shocked. I'm shocked at at our leadership, like our chief just said, man. Yeah. Nobody stood tall. Nobody asked pertinent questions. Everybody allowed the narrative to spin out of control, and nobody stayed on course.
And then had a representative that I've never heard of to stand up in the news and ask for her resignation.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute.
Like you said, Candace Zero ain't there for no reason.
Nope.
We see what's happening. Miss Wolfog, I'm sorry. You did a hell of a job as an interim, but I'm embarrassed of you too. You shouldn't have came out too soon, love. Too soon. Too soon. You tried to capitalize, but you hurt yourself.
Well, I don't know.
I hope somebody else jump in the free. Who else jumping in the free, man?
In the election?
Yeah.
Let's see, Shorty, Susan, Shell, and probably a couple other ones. They just haven't announced that. Julian Parker. Right. Julian Parker.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to do some research, and we should start doing the research on these segments. Yours, early morning, midday. We should start doing that research and talk.
All right, James. Let me get these other folks, man. Appreciate you much. All right, brother. Kevin.
Hey, Gerard?
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin. Yeah, I agree with all your previous callers. That should be a solitary. Our leadership should come and, this affecting New Orleans. I was reading Northern. They say one of the people was a maintenance worker. He was feared for his life. So what he did was he helped the escape.
Yeah, he cut the water off.
On the sheriff. And my second thing is they got 4 people remaining. I think some people helping these people out. If they ain't catch, I don't think they're in the area right now. I think they might be someone else. So I think they got some person, food snuffs, is helping these inmates. But I agree with your previous callers that we should come together. But that's my 2 cents. So I'm hanging up.
I got you.
All right.
Thanks. T-Bone.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
I'm just trying to start it mild, bro, because I know you are ready for the fire because you've been getting a lot of smoke about this. Okay, people, if you're not paying attention, let me help you out for a minute. Anybody remember when they had that aircraft incident some months back, right around the time when Trump started? What was the first thing he said when a reporter asked him about it?
You threw it on Biden.
Nope.
What?
3 letters. DEI. It was quite obvious when this thing happened. You have a female black sheriff. They were going to use this for political cannon fodder the minute it happened. And it's election season. Coincidental? I think not. If you are a so-called leader of this city, and I'm calling all of them out, you know who you are. You need to step up, as one of the ladies already said. Forget about the finger pointing. These people are still on the loose. They are still considered dangerous, and witnesses are in danger. Judges are in danger. The DA is in danger. Mr. Governor, go sit your ass down somewhere about Baton Rouge. We don't need you down here playing Trump 2.0. We need to fix this. And I'm speaking as a citizen in Mid-City, minutes away from the jail. I'm calling you all out. You're public servants. I'm going to say it for other people to say it. Get off your asses and do something. That's my 2 bits. Mic drop.
All right, mic drop. I'll talk to you in a minute. That was the mic drop. All right, the number's 504-582-9422. So, couple of folks are texting me. Well, y'all can hear the ding ding going on. Everybody in their world and their mama texting me about this issue, asking me, what do you think? What do you think? What do you know? Da 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 da. I'm not that person. I'm not authorized, I'll use that word, to say anything about the situation and the investigation. First of all, I don't know about the investigation because, again, I'm not authorized and I don't sit in those meetings. I will tell you that there is an investigation, more than one investigation, that is going on at this time. I think that we sometimes forget, and I'm going to say this too about, and I hear you all talking about some of the leadership. And it's interesting to me in the same sense, because I'll be the first to say this, as some of the folks that are the worst critics of this situation were sitting in the same seat at some point. I mean, big scrutiny, and seemed like everybody named Mama was against them for some reason. And now they stepping up and saying, oh, you know, this going on, and this going on, and this going on. I'm like, okay. But don't forget where you coming from. Some people need to remember, or they got a case of amnesia as well. Situations happen. Am I going to abandon what we've started working on? No, I can't do that. Jason.
Hey, what's happening, G?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Look, I've been waiting for you to talk about this. I'm going to say something. You know, my mother used to say when I was a kid, this don't smell right. It just, you know, it don't smell right to me. It don't look right. It don't smell right. Like you just said, they got investigations going on as we speak. I just find it mighty odd that this happens right before the elections and everything, and right after a vote was cast a few weeks back. You know, and I'm like, you know, I'm listening to everybody talk. I'm listening to people all in Baton Rouge and North Louisiana talk. I listened to another radio station of a person talking that used to be a sheriff in this area, and like you just said, wow, how you forgot so fast. You know, just listen to that ex-sheriff run his mouth, and I'm saying to myself, it just don't smell right. Maybe it's me, G. And I would like for the investigations to happen and everybody get the full picture. Because for some young men to get out like that and write on the wall how easy it was, as soon as I seen that, I said, wait, what? Oh, wow. So I'm just like you, brother. I just want to sit back and I want a real full investigation and seeing what's happening. But one thing I noticed, a lot of people is pointing fingers.
Mm-hmm.
But these same people don't point fingers when it's someone that they're backing make a mistake or something goes on during their watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing that too. Fingers ain't pointed then. So, yeah, I agree with you, G, man. It don't smell right, and I really want these investigations to go forward because I just want to sit back and watch. It just seems a little weird to me.
I just think that it's a lot of people that think that they have arrived and they do don't stink. And I'm telling you that, you know, we all in this same boat. We all in this same toilet. I'm just hoping that we in the boat looking like Mr. Tidy Bowl, instead of saying, please don't hit the cylinders so this water starts swishing, and start realizing where you're at. If you look like me or anybody else, you need to watch who you start talking about, because at some point in time, you're going to need that person to stand for you too. I'm telling you, they're gunning for folks now. They're gunning for the district attorney. They're gunning for the sheriff. And he made it very clear in his own news conference that he's going to be gunning for these judges as well. He even called the judicial system here, what is it, like a three-legged stool. So I'm looking at it and saying to myself, I thought this would be the perfect time for everybody to stand together. I don't care what office you're running for. The election ain't here yet. But I would stand here, if it was me, and see the bigger person stand with it. This ain't got nothing to do with you. This got everything to do with the community. Stand with the person and be the bigger person. Because it's apparent to me that the person in charge, he ain't looking at now one of the folks that's running for office and saying that's going to be my person. He ain't looking for that.
He has an agenda.
He got an agenda. He want to put his people
in. Yes, sir. And, G, I was on social media the other day and seeing so many of my people, especially out the city, like you just said, saying certain things. And the first thing I told two of them was, we all live in the city. And the person y'all talking about is going to be the one to help you. Because, see, when the people in Baton Rouge come through here and take over everything, you see it with the state police.
Jason.
I mean, every day I'm in the city driving this 18-wheeler. Every day I'm seeing state police flying up and down the interstate. They're not playing.
Let me tell you something, and I'll tell you this, and I'll say this in front of anybody, because one of the people that had to bring I had to escort a lot of those folks to the sheriff's office that were coming in from Baton Rouge, and I hope everybody is hearing what I say. Baton Rouge is already here. Every agency you could possibly think of. I seen so many different badges that had that boot-shaped badge. I'm like, what division are you in? FBI. Oh, okay. You in the AG's office. Oh, you want to investigate us. Oh, okay, come on. I got to bring you upstairs. I'm telling you, these folks are already here. They putting their plans together. They doing investigations and putting their plans together. The DOC is here. The FBI is here. The Attorney General's office is here. The Sheriff's Association, they here. They all here already, and they ain't leaving no time soon.
No. I don't think they're going to leave some of them.
I'm telling you, they ain't leaving no time soon.
You're correct.
So, all right, my brother, let me take my break.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Good to hear from you, Jason. All right, Miss Matthews, hold on. We coming back. We got to take our break here. We'll come back, have some more conversation with you in just a minute, y'all.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by Lowe's.com. You've definitely seen Shaquille O'Neal in a TV commercial, but the four-time NBA champion isn't just a celebrity spokesperson. He's a shrewd business person who takes a real interest in the companies he's involved in. Shaq spoke to Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick at a special event in Miami Beach and talked to her about how he was able to help Papa John's at a time when the brand was in trouble.
Homeboys don't like to break $20. Let me explain. So they were charging $22 for a small pizza. I said, no, the homeboys, if I can get a small pizza for $10 and get some chips and get a soda and not have to break that $20, we could change things around. So they did that. They lowered prices, and now we're back on top.
Shaq's out-of-the-box and relatable thinking was a big part of turning around Papa John's. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at Fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
NOLA Public Schools is excited for the rest of this 24-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars attend today, achieve tomorrow.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. My number 504-582-9422. Don't forget at 6 o'clock this evening is going to be Arnie and Carrie. Make sure you check them out at 6 o'clock. All right. This is Matthews.
Good afternoon, Gerard.
How you doing?
WBOK family. The first thing I just want to say, I did tell a lot of the opinions that I've heard, but I just want to add the citizens of this city aren't as ignorant as they think. We recognize the politics that's going on. Because the first thing that was so unusual, Gerard, when things happen, what's the first thing they say? We're investigating it. So if you got an investigation going on, why would it be all these comments and all these questions from reporters and stuff? The thing that should have been sufficient is we're investigating what's going on, and that's all that needed to be said.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Then the other thing, what I was looking at, I was saying, okay, this might be the biggest one, I don't know, but this is not the first time we done had jailbreaks. They had them under Guzman, and they had him under Fody. And I never saw them attack the sheriff like they're doing Susan Hudson. I said, now, this is a shame because this ain't the first time. In fact, the guys took videos when they broke out of jail.
On Bourbon Street.
Before.
He was on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, and for Fody, he had the prison thing for I don't know how many years. They broke out under him, yet nobody never attacked. They didn't attack the person, and they showed respect for the office. You ain't had nobody from another city talking about that person need to resign. No, why should she resign? She didn't break out of jail, and some people even talking stupid about where she was at. She was at her house sleeping just like we do, you know?
Right.
So I just say, but to me, Gerard, I said the reason why they coming at New Orleans, I say because New Orleans is like a house divided. I say they see the politics here. The city council can't get along. They attack the mayor. You know what I'm saying? But, to me, it's just so sad because they're supposed to be working for the good of the city, and it's constant in-house fighting. And it's like, I guess, just like with anything else, when our enemies see your house so divided, then it's easy for them to come in and take over. And to me, that's what I see going on. But I just caution the people, don't go for the first thing you hear. Because I never saw no foolishness like this before.
If you notice something, though, Ms. Matthews, if you notice something, and I don't know if you really pay attention to this, and I'm not going to put this on you. I don't know if folks realize something, that Susan Hudson, she don't like playing politics.
Right.
She ain't been in no politics in this city about nothing else except her running for this office, cleaning up the jail. She told them she told them when she got in office that she did not have a transition, and that jail was built incorrectly. There are too many things that could get people hurt in there. They were taking off metal pieces of the windows and making them into shanks.
Right.
She had to try to get money to do that. The budget has always been a problem with the city of New Orleans, not with just her. It was a problem with
Right.
Guzman, and it was a problem with
yeah.
Fody. And we are
It's
acting
been
like this
yeah.
is all brand new stuff.
New, right.
In this
And
building,
I've
this
heard
building
her
is,
recently asking them for more money.
but that building is
And-
over 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Them
But
locks
it's
need to be
there.
changed. And now, sitting up there talking about her budget, that it's not her budget. They just want her to be on this brass system, and she's telling them that it's outdated.
Right. Yeah.
And that's
I
what
but,
that is. So,
And then the other thing, right, I wanted to say, see that newsman, he kept hollering about he got a tip. So to me, that almost seemed like it was a setup from the beginning. How he get informed before everybody else. So, it was designed, like you say, to make her look bad. I said, but that's terrible. And I say, it's sad because the guy who preceded her, Guzman, he didn't show any professionalism. I said, they don't think about working for the good of the citizens of this city. He gets to be like sour grapes,
it's known by everybody. So what I'm getting ready to say, please don't be shocked by it.
Mm-hmm.
It has been known that there are too many folks that work over there at that jail that don't have the sheriff's best interests.
Okay, yeah.
And they will sell out quicker, faster, and hurry. Look
Yeah,
you dead,
backstabbers.
look you dead in the face and wait for you to
Right.
turn around so they could shank you in the back.
Yes.
Some of those folks, we know some of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean there ain't too much you can do about it except say,
Right.
I need to replace you, get rid of you, or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
those folks, they'll get theirs at the end.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But, yeah, just tell her, some of the citizens, we recognize what's going on in the games they play.
And some of those in the news media are the same way,
Oh, we know. That's what we're saying. It's mighty strange. You got all this, and just like you say, I never saw the news reporter was acting like he was a policeman investigator instead of a reporter.
If I do a comparison, I have never seen those news reporters act like that toward any other sheriff here in this city.
Me neither.
Or New Norman or the one now in charge over Jefferson Parish, the one over
Right.
in I will say to Billy Pullman over in St. Bernard.
Bernard, yeah.
The first thing he did as the sheriff was to call Susan and say, "How can I help you?"
And that's the way it should be.
And that's what he did. And I will
Right.
give him that. He said, "Hey, look, they called me. I'm going to be here if you need my help." And that's where he was. But as far as these other folks are concerned, it was like sharks. I was very disappointed in the way that some of especially my news media folks, I was very disappointed in the way that they were acting. I was not in control. I was not in control of that press conference. So I had to make sure that I understood where my position was. But if I was in control of it, I would have ended that press conference a whole lot earlier than it was.
Right.
I would have said exactly what you just said. It's an investigation going on. We're working on it. We can't give you any information yet because it's an investigation. Thank y'all for coming. We'll let you know. Because and lastly, I'm not trying to take over your time, but the last part of that was, there was a third press conference that happened on Friday night at 10 o'clock, right? That press conference was in front of the police station with NOPD and Troop NOLA. They was quiet as a mouse. The sheriff was there, but the news media was quiet as a mouse. They ain't say nothing. And as a matter of fact, when Troop NOLA made their comments and said, "That's the end of it. Thank y'all for coming," they ain't say one word. I was like, look at this crowd. I was cussing. Ms. Matthews, I needed Jesus. I needed Jesus. Cause I was like cussing. I was like, y'all got to be out of your effing minds. What the H? I'm like, no. Y'all didn't act that way toward her. Why you acting this way? I mean, y'all didn't act that way toward them. Why you acting that way toward her? So a lot of this was set up to rattle her.
Yeah, we and guess what? We recognize it, Gerard.
Yeah, but it was just to rattle her.
Right.
And it didn't rattle
But
her.
look, tell her to keep her head up and tell her some of us are praying for her. You hear?
I will do that.
All
Thank
right,
you, Ms.
Gerard.
Matthews.
See you later.
All right, talk to you
Okay.
later.
Bye-bye.
504-582-9422. So what did I learn out of this? This has nothing to do with me. I don't make no decisions. I really don't. I hope everybody understands that. I don't make no decisions. Am I going to say, oh, Lord, I can't sit beside you no more because this, because of that? No, ma'am. No, sir. I've known this sheriff since she got here, when she came in as the police monitor. What's interesting about this is that the number of people that are in that jail, over 80% of them, probably 90%, are our folks, meaning your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, mamas, uncles. There are whole families that are presently in the jail. Your mama, your daddy, your son, your daughter, because they hold women just as much as they hold men in the women's prison. And I heard, and she will tell you this, and I don't have to coach her on this, her whole deal is not to just house you and then you get out and they say good luck, goodbye. She has created some programs that I think I heard Governor Landry call them those woke programs and all this other stuff. I think that's what I heard her call it. I'm not certain. I'm not trying to quote him. Or no, progressive. He called it progressive jailing. And I'll take progressive jailing if you look at the statistics any day. Well, what you talking about, G? Something I learned. That's why I tell y'all, and I'll say it every single time, I have learned so much since I've been over there. Progressive jailing. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because the other jailing is lock them up and throw away the key. And see if we can daggone get them with some murder charges or something else and keep them in here forever. And then send them up to these other jails. Because these other jails are getting ready to go through something. What you talking about, G? These other jails are getting ready to go through something. I would not be surprised if we start hearing of the privatization of some of these jails. The privatization of these jails will have these inmates working for cents on a dollar or cents per hour to do massive work in the jail. We're going to take you and give you a trade, but you're going to be working for cents on the dollar so that we can get this done. Now, the problem that I have with that is they're not paying minimum wages, y'all, to be learning some trade in the jail. They paying cents on the dollar, like 35 cents an hour, 25 cents an hour. And guess where that money go? It go on your books. Well, what you need? I need some toilet paper. I need some deodorant. I need some toothpaste. I need all these things. Guess where that money got to go now? You got to buy that stuff in jail. And that money that you got on your books, you putting it right back into the system again because you have to buy your own stuff. All right, here we go. I also look around and say to myself, and I'll say this too. One of the questions came out is, well, why those murderers, why those guys with murder charges in there in the first place? All right. Here's an answer for you because I ain't telling you nothing that was not said, especially from the warden, Mallet. Mallet is the warden. And Mallet said, man, gee, we've already been through this. I said, what are you talking about? He said, the reason why those guys are in the jail in the first place is because we send them out to other jails. And then we got to deal with the judges because the attorneys for these guys go to the judges and the judges remand them back to the Orleans Parish Prison because they're saying they can't see their clients. So that's how they have to come back. And the judge puts out the order, bring them back. They got to bring them back. What are they supposed to do? Now you got a situation where that information is coming out, and they're going, what? Yeah, don't be acting brand new now. What we acting brand new for? We just didn't say it. All right, here's the other reason. Well, why were all those guys, those murderers, on the first floor in the first place? They doing construction in the jail. It's overcrowded by 400-500 people, y'all. Now, if your charge is murder and the other guy got a charge of something else, we have learned that there is beef between the wards. You can't have somebody from Algiers on the same pod with somebody from the Lord Knife Ward. Why? You get ready to start a riot in the jail. So they have to circumvent, they had to interview, talk to, and then separate all these folks in their jail because of who they associated with, who don't like who, whose family is against this family, and who might have a hit on them because this drug cartel over here, I'm going to call it cartel myself, y'all don't know the intricacies that go into getting somebody in jail. One of the things that has come up, and I know that we're working on it, but it's intricate, is to be able to say, hey, we got overcrowding. Why can't we take some of these nonviolent offenders, some of these folks that got traffic court, can't pay, child support, can't pay, and do this. If the city wants to release some of the folks or get it back down to, because they said comfortably that jail is supposed to be about 850 to 900 folks. We are over 1,500. If we really want to let the nonviolent offenders go, why don't we start making sure that all the intricate folks that are involved, district attorney, the judges, the prosecutors, along with the defendants, say, we're not going to put you in jail, but you're going to be responsible for this many hours of community service. We used to do it. I remember when Veronica White was like, you got a traffic ticket, I meet this one over here, da-da-da-da, because I think the person that had to take him out to remove trash and stuff from the road was Captain Charles. We used to do it. I don't know what happened. But trying to get everybody on the same page has been a problem. Because this has come up before. This has come up before. You can't keep everybody in there. And I know in Jefferson Parish, when they got an overcrowded situation, they give you a court date. If you're not a non-offender, as far as nonviolent offenders are concerned, they let you go. We don't. The sheriff can't make that decision. It has to be all the parties that I just named, all involved, and working on this. I need a memorandum of understanding from this one, and this one. Can't do that to y'all. She can't make that decision. So we have made this situation the worst of the worst. Y'all should see this and read some of the stuff that's coming out of some of these folks. Even who is this official that stood up and said, you need to resign? You knew. You just got in the office. Who the hell are you to tell anybody they need to resign? Who put you up to it? And the famous words of the folks here in the city, who sent you? Who sent you? There's a whole lot more to this than just what appears in the eyes of the beholder. Pointing at folks, listening to the back talk on the back channels of all these folks that can swear to God that they know what they're doing just because they considered one of the professionals. It was interesting, and I got to say thank you to Councilman Oliver Thomas. The day that all this went down, Oliver didn't wait to the committee meeting on today. Oliver, they called me. I was in the office. They called me. They said, "Gee, you need to go downstairs." I said, "What's up?" And said, "Councilman Thomas is downstairs in front of the building because they had put everything down on lockdown. You couldn't come in." So I'm going downstairs. Oliver's getting ready to come up the stairs. So I got on the elevator and went down to get him up. The first thing he said was, "Hey, man, we going to see about this, but is she available?" I said, "Yeah." And I walked him to Susan's office. They shut the door, and they had their conversation. It was interesting to me to see some of the other elected officials that are asking her to step down. Well, be careful what you ask for, especially when you're an elected official too. Your coffers are not clean. Just be careful with that. Be careful. All right, we're getting ready to get to the last few minutes of the show, y'all. So if you got a comment right now, get it in. So we're taking this break. 504-582-9422 is the number. We'll take the break here and we'll come back with your last few comments.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. In a rare and fiery clash between Congress and the Trump administration, Democrat Representative LaMonica McIver of New Jersey is now facing federal assault charges after what her supporters call a chaotic overreach by ICE officers outside a Newark Immigration Detention Center. McIver says she was simply doing her job, conducting oversight when Mayor Ross Baraka was arrested trying to join her. Now the charges against Baraka have quietly been dropped, but McIver is being prosecuted for allegedly elbowing an officer in a crowd. Homeland Security released shaky video footage, but it doesn't clearly show the intent. Democrats are calling foul, accusing Trump's Justice Department of weaponizing law enforcement to silence dissent. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries didn't hold back, saying this is a, quote, morally bankrupt attack on legislative oversight. She's not backing down, and she's ready for court. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Didn't catch this morning's conversation? No worries. The Good Morning Show is now a podcast on all your favorite apps. Just search WBOK Media, find The Good Morning Show, and make it part of your daily routine. Download it, share it, and rate it 5 stars. Start your day with something real.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor. We're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
This summer, let your child's creativity shine at Camp Art, New Orleans' most vibrant, arts-driven camp experience for kids ages 4 to 12. Hosted by Beyond the Stage, Camp Art blends visual art, theater, music, dance, and creative writing with New Orleans history and culture. Plus, field trips, guest artists, and camper showcases. With full-day programming before and after care and sessions starting June 9th, it's the perfect fit for working parents. Fun, enriching, unforgettable. Register now at beyondthestagellc.com/campart and follow us on social media at Beyond the Stage LLC.
If someone asks,
Yeah!
let them know you listen to WBOK. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Coming up at 6, about 10 minutes away. Carrie and Arnie are going to be here to take you into the evening time. Terry, thanks for calling, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, Gerard?
Good, man. How you doing?
All right, I'm gonna be brief because I know y'all about to get off. Look, I just want to make it sure. Where's all these public officials when we are having problems in the city, like our streets, are so terrible? They're just, some of the worst streets in America. And then, for helping the poor in the city, why don't they come together for stuff like that? I guess that'll be too righteous.
I can't answer that one. I don't know. I'm stumped on that one. I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know why they won't come together.
Yeah, but it's just amazing, Gerard. They all come out in public display, like what they call it, the TV app, the photo shoot and all that. That's wonderful, when they all come together for the criminals escaping from the jail and the terrorist attack. But right after that, I guess it's solved somewhat or the terrorist situation is not really resolved. I mean, the police shot the guy, but after that, it's just like business as usual. Let the poor stay poor, and nobody's coming out in no campaign for us. I mean, it's just amazing.
There's a lot of self gratification, if that's a good word. A lot of self gratification. A lot of self-gratification and a lot of grandizement, if that's a good word to use. But I will say that sometimes you have to step out and show them, if that's a good phrase to use. And I think that she's going to get her team together. And, it's like you got kicked in the head by that old mule. I think she's dusting off the pants right now, getting her team together and saying, these are the things that we have been talking about with this jail for the past 3 years that evidently nobody was paying attention to. Now that I've got your attention, let's go ahead on and go back to the number of times that I have said that these locks need to be changed, that I need money to pay folks. The average, and I did this by AI, the average jailer that gets a yearly salary is over $44,000 nationwide. I think ours is somewhere between 37 to 38. We are less than 5. We are 5,000 or even more under the national average of a new jailer. They ain't even talking with somebody with rank. So we got a lot to catch up on, but I didn't like the fact in that meeting that the comparison was the budget of the jail compared to the budget of the NOPD. It's like apples and oranges. I think that Mr. Red Bottoms himself said that apples and oranges, but I don't think he really understood what he put himself into. And that is the NOPD's budget is 3 times bigger than the jail's budget. But if you name the different entities of the sheriff's department, because a lot of stuff got combined, that don't say that this budget is going to grow anymore when I not only have the jail to take care of, I also have the civil division to take care of under that one budget. So,
and the overcrowding, Gerard, last but not least, the overcrowding of the prison is ridiculous. I mean, that is ridiculous.
Well, here's again the question. And maybe I'm being a little pushy on this, but my point would be, did we ask Troop Nola, the judges, NOPD, and every other law enforcement entity that brings somebody to that jail and has them locked up, wish y'all's budget, because y'all are spending too much money. And not only that, you got to think about something, bruh. They get fed 3 times a day. How much is the food budget that has increased since 2023? And it was interesting to me. I love Bianca. Bianca did something today that made me, I was cussing after Bianca did this, because she said, excuse me, Mr. CFO or whoever, Montana from the city. She said, that information that you're reading about our budget and talking about, that was from 2023. I was like, get them. That ain't the information. And then we had a reduction in the budget for the sheriff's office on last year. So it's a whole lot of tap dancing going on. But you're right. I don't like to see the pointing of the fingers.
Yeah, but I mean, Gerard, the prison is overcrowded. Where's the state support? Where's the rescue teams that come and help the city out? The city hold all these major events. I mean, they're doing their part. I mean, who is helping the city?
And the cricket started.
Yep. Well, there you go.
So I wish I had more information, but again, I don't, and I know my role. I'm gonna stay neutral until the information comes out, and I can repeat it at that time. So that's where we are.
All right, Gerard, that's all I got. But just like I said, you keep taking all these pictures and coming to these big television cameras, and I'm like, when the city is in trouble, who comes to the rescue of the city? That's what I like to know. All these big wigs, they come down there, but who's reaching out, to help the city?
Right. You're right. You're good.
All right, Gerard.
Appreciate you, man. All right.
All right.
As I get ready to walk up out of here today, I wanted everybody to understand something, that, there is more information to come. I think that whether you think the state is not supporting or not saying anything, from my understanding, they have been a little bit more supportive than what is being told about the information that it's collecting, what is needed and understanding. And I know that the sheriff is going to get down to the bottom of this. Some of us, and I will say some of us in the media, should be ashamed of yourselves and the way that you all conducted yourselves on Friday, especially with all the screaming, interrupting, doing live shots, and banter going back and forth with the folks that are trying to give you information, and all of this I got you moments, and trying to get these I got you moments. That's so played out. And then to see how you all acted at 10 o'clock that night in front of the chief of police and Troop Nola was 360 degrees the other way. I was sitting there going to myself, wait a minute. Y'all behaving? Y'all acting like y'all men and women? Nobody screaming? It lets me throw a little bit more than just, that's just how we act into my expectations. Because if it was me, I'm just saying, if it was me, if I was in control of that press conference that happened, the first thing I would have done was walked out there before y'all even went to your live shots and told you, listen, I need y'all to act correct or act like you got some sense up in here, because I want to let you know I got deputies with me. And if you cannot control yourself, we'll control it for you and throw you out and not invite you to come back. Air is what air does. Stupid is what stupid does. Don't act stupid. That was unprofessional. And if it's up to me, it'll never happen again over there. If it's up to me. But it's not up to me. So that's going to wrap things up for me, y'all. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. I wish I could give you more information. I can't. And I think that all you all understand. And not only I don't know it. I'm not a part of the investigation. And I remove myself from that. And there won't be any hearsay coming out of my mouth. I don't need nobody repeating that. Arnie and Carrie coming up next. I hope y'all have a great rest of the day. I will see you on tomorrow. Everybody hold tight.